into the cloud. There we go. Scott, it's all you.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Rogowski. I'm the director of the Northern California SBDC, Small Business Development Center Finance Center, which is a mouthful, I agree. Today is Wednesday morning. It's July 8th, 2020, and this is our 39th session. So that means we've been doing this for 13 weeks, if you divide it by 3. Since we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, this is our Small Business Town Hall. Disaster relief loan updates, and you can watch this interactively or on YouTube or right here, right now, or wherever you choose at ASKSBDC.com. We're Northern California SBDC, the Finance Center. We are all in this together. We also have SBA on the phone, which I will introduce a little bit later. But we have, for those of you that have joined us for all of these or a lot of these, as Alan mentioned, we only have 76 people on the phone. If you count the people like on the panelists, we only have about 70. We normally get about 150 to 300. So we have been losing or having lower subscription as far as people signing up. So because of that, we are going to next week start doing these only Monday, Wednesdays. We're going to take away Fridays. Most of the updates from SBA and the Treasury usually happen either on a Friday or over the weekend or between the first few days of the week. So we have a phone number that you can call us at. We have an email that you can call us at. We've been looking at other presentations for SBDCs and SBA that's been going throughout the state of California. And a lot of them switch it up. Like Monday is PPP, Wednesday is EIDL, Friday, like this Friday is going to be all other loans that are specific to counties and cities and whatnot. But we're not going to go over PPP or EIDL this Friday. So we'll do a better job promoting that. Hopefully we'll send out an email tomorrow to let you know that this Friday, 2 days from today, the 10th, we're only going to go over other loans that are specific to cities and counties and other SBA loans, not EIDL, not PPP, but 504, 7A, expansion, starting, growing, selling, buying, stuff like that, building loans. But we're not going to go over EIDL or PPP. Today is only PPP. We're not going to go over EIDL. We do have SBA on the phone, so if you want to ask questions about EIDL, you can, but we're not going to cover anything on EIDL. Most of our questions that we get today are around PPP because they extended it, and it's very tricky if you choose 8 or 24 weeks, and how your first payment is due, and how long is it deferred, and when is the calculator due, and all this other great stuff. So we're going to go over PPP today. Next week, we're going to flip it around, mix it up. We'll send out an email Friday as to what we're kind of going to do Monday, but here you go. Quick introduction. We're Northern California SBDC, Small Business Development Centers. We are the consulting arm. We are one of the consulting arms of SBA, Small Business Administration. There's others like the Women's Business Center, the Veteran Business Outreach Center, and SCORE, if you're familiar with those. But Northern California SBDC Network, we're one of 63 state regions in the country. SBDC's anniversary is this year. We've been around 40 years thanks to SBA funding us. For Northern California, we cover the most 36 northern counties in the state of California. We go from the Oregon border down the coast to Santa Cruz. We cover all 9 counties of the Bay Area. We go southeast to Stockton and then back up through the Nevada and the Oregon border. We are supported by SBA on the federal side, Small Business Administration. On the state side, we're funded through the Governor's Office of Economic Development, which is called GoBiz under the Governor's Office. So because of this funding, federal and state, we come to you at no cost to you and small business owners, organizations at no cost. We also offer webinars and workshops and educational events, which you'll also find out about a little bit later in this presentation, in regards to helping you start, grow different industries, sectors, food, restaurants, manufacturing, all the great stuff. Also to you at no cost. The Finance Center, we are a group of advisors, some staff, about 50 advisors out that are kind of spread out through the 36 counties that I mentioned earlier. And we do nothing but specialize in helping businesses access capital. Before COVID, it was startup, growing, buying stuff, equipment, all this great stuff, buying restaurants, starting restaurants for funding. During COVID, it's all disaster loans. It's PPP, EIDL, SBA 7A, 504, direct loan funds, Main Street loan programs, everything that is being created as we speak, we specialize in to help to get the information to you as fast as we can. So I'm the director of the Finance Center. Sunita Maharaj, she's the associate director. She's also on the phone. And then we have SBA. We have Carrie Ellenwood. She's the interim deputy director for the Sacramento district office out of Citrus Heights. She's on. And then we have Janelle Green, who's also from Carrie's office. And I don't know her exact title, but I'm sure she could unmute herself and introduce herself real quick.
Thank you.
Or maybe not.
Hi there. I'm the lead economic development specialist.
Okay, thank you. Lead economic development specialist, Janelle Green, also from the Sacramento district office in Citrus Heights. So we'll get to SBA a little bit later. Agenda, we have a disclaimer that we like to read every time because it's fun. We are going to go over the PPP Flexibility Act. Sunita's going to cover the Flexibility Act, the eligible and ineligible payroll costs, and the PPP forgiveness. I'm going to go over a quick slide on the local and national PPP lenders. SBA will do an update, and then we'll go to Q&A. And then as I speak, Sunita will answer some questions, and as she speaks, I'll answer some questions. So disclaimer, things are changing all the time. This information was correct when we put it together. EIDL and PPP have both reopened. And they're back up for all types of businesses, including 501c3s. So please don't hesitate to apply for EIDL or PPP. And if you are hesitant and you have questions about that, you can call us and ask us. We can help you figure out where to apply or how to apply. But we recommend that you don't hesitate, that you don't talk yourself out of it. You don't have other people talk yourself out of it, because the only beholders of actually deciding if you're approved or not for EIDL is SBA, or disaster SBA, and then for PPP is actual lender. It's not SBA, it's the lender. And if that lender doesn't approve you, or for whatever they ran out of money, or they don't have enough people to help you, then you can call us and we can help you find capital today. And then lenders are starting to come forward for this Main Street program. We're not going to go over it today. We kind of have been going over it. It's probably been confusing a lot of people. I've only known about 2 lenders in Northern California that have come forward and said, hey, Scott, we're really excited to do these Main Street program loans. And I'm not going to announce them because they'll get infiltrated, or inundated, or whatever the word is. We can help you find lenders for this, but the Main Street programs they're not for like super micro businesses at this time. They're only for businesses that need $250,000 all the way to $300 million. So if you're one of those, call us. We'll let you know. Get you some info. So Sunita's going to go over this Flexibility Act and the extension, and then we'll go from there. Sunita.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Great to have you back again. So we're going to go over this. We have gone over this in the past, but the last week we had a information from everyone stating that they wanted more PPP information and for us to answer more questions on that. So we have more information. We're going to go over some of the same things that we have gone over in the past, but it's been a while, so let's go over it again because we do forget and things have changed quite a bit as well. So it's hard to remember what is correct as of today. So application extended to August 8th. That is still into effect. There are lenders out there that are accepting applications. They may not be sending them to SBA right away, but they are accepting applications. And I believe Scott is going to go over those lenders. Some of them are continuing to accept applications. Here is some changes that happened with the Flexibility Act. If you are funded after June 5th, then you automatically get a 5-year term loan instead of 2 years. If you're funded prior to that, then you have a 2-year term. If you want a 5-year term, you have to negotiate with your lender. So at the end of your 8 or 24 weeks, that's when you will negotiate with your lender. So the covered period has been extended for everybody to 24 weeks or 12/31, whichever comes earlier. With that, we'll go into for sole props how that works for you. Also, how does that work for you when you're asking your lender? Most lenders, I have noticed, we did have a question last Monday. If it is normal for lenders to have this information or application on their website, and in actuality, it is. That is where you are going to most likely fill out your forgiveness application. A few lenders have come forward, and clients have come forward to let us know that the lenders are accepting or do have the application process on their websites currently. So the change from 6 months to 10 months for first payment due date for the covered period, interest does accrue from the date of funding if this ends up turning into a loan. Sorry, okay. So income overview. If the business has elected an 8-week covered period, does not exceed 8 weeks worth of 2019 compensation for any owner employee, self-employed individual, or general partner, that income is capped at $15,385. We did have a question just on this webinar a little bit earlier. Somebody wanted to use the 8-week, but they would prefer to have the cap at $28,833, which you cannot do that. So it's either 8-week capped at the $15,000 or the 24-week coverage, which has increased the cap to $20,833 per individual. For employees, it is a different amount. That amount has increased. Max wages for 24 weeks is $46,154. 8 weeks, it is capped out at $15,385. Next, please. So we're going to go over what expenses are included again. This is a slide that I brought back from a previous webinar because people are still unsure of what they're able to use the funds for. So you can use it for salary, wages, commissions, or tips. These are limited to the first 100,000. So that did not change. The 100,000 is still the maximum amount. Employee benefits, including costs related to leave, allowance for separation or dismissal, group health care, including insurance premiums, retirement, workers' comp is not included in this. State and local taxes assessed on compensation can be paid through the PPP funds. For a sole proper independent wage earner, independent contractor, wage commissions income or net earnings from self-employment limited to the first 100,000. Next, please. So ineligible payroll costs. What expenses are not included in payroll costs? Salary, wages, commissions, or tips on any amount in excess of the 100,000 per employee. Payments to independent contractors because they can get their own PPP. That is why you cannot include your independent contractors. They're able to get their own PPP loan. Taxes imposed or withheld. Any compensation of an employee whose principal place of residence is outside of the U.S. Qualified sick leave wages or qualified family leave wages for which a credit is allowed under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. Next, please. PPP forgiveness. What costs are included in the forgiveness calculation? Payroll costs, which we just went over, payments of interest on eligible mortgage obligations for the business, rent for place of business, utilities, electricity, gas, water, transportation, telephone, or internet access. Transportation is something that you should get together with your CPA or somebody that's doing your taxes, and they are following the IRS rules on transportation. So if you can go back to that slide, Scott, it just kind of skipped over. And so that is what you'll be able to use for forgiveness calculation. Alan will put a a document. It's an Excel sheet that is from an accounting, I believe it's the AEICU. I could be wrong, but he's going to put that in the chat. And that is a forgiveness worksheet that you can use. It has several tabs at the bottom. I have reviewed it yesterday, but I have not used it myself. But it is something that SBA has stated as a resource that they are giving, or they're telling people about. So he will put it in the chat, and that is a resource that you can use to help track. I know that some banks or lenders are also putting information on their websites as well. So I think that is it for the PPP and for my portion, and I think Scott's going to pick it up from here.
All right, thank you very much, Sunita. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. You guys will see that most of the stuff, that, actually all the stuff that Sunita just went over hasn't changed from when we first started talking about this in March. There's a few things that have been added, some calculations that have changed for sole props and single employees, but for the most part, the information has pretty much stayed the same. That's why we think it's a little bit redundant for us to go over this every time, every week, every day. So that's why we're gonna switch it up. So so here you go. So this is PPP. This is local and national. So national would be Blue Vine Capital. You can go to bluevine.com and click on Apply Now. They're going through August 8th. There's other lenders that are online that are offering PPP that are what I would call a national aggregator. An aggregator is an organization or a company like Blue Vine that has access somehow, because they specialize in financial technology, and they have access to thousands of lenders across the country to place capital for PPP, and they do it exceptionally well. They're the best. We have 50 advisors in our region on the Finance Center team, and they email each other every day, all day long, trying to find the best lenders for fintech, financial technology. And Blue Vine always comes to the top. If you apply at Blue Vine till August 8th, they'll find you a lender. We've had people get funded within a day or two from finding Blue Vine. So go to bluevine.com, apply now. Locally, I haven't had a lot of banks locally come to me and say, hey, Scott, we're super excited to do PPP again. Most of these lenders will make you open a bank account. So if you want to contact Brian Maida at brian.maida@bannerbank.com, he's in Sacramento. You don't have to drive there to meet him, probably because of COVID, you can't meet him, but I don't know. But you can email him. You have to open an account at Banner Bank before they will take an application. You can continue to bank at the bank that you want to bank at because you love them and they make you feel amazing, or they give you coffee or cookies. But Banner Bank will make you open an account. You'll deposit your PPP loan that you get approved for into your Banner Bank account, and then you will transact it as such. There might be other local lenders, but I haven't got one that says, hey, Scott, blast me on the universe of your webinars and put me out there. Well, Brian is stepping up to the plate. So is Banner Bank. Banner Bank's stepping up to the plate. They're one of the most highly technological banks out there, meaning they can process these things super fast. Not as fast as Blue Vine, because they're not a bank. They don't have brick and mortar. They're online. You can't even go talk to them, I don't think. But you can contact Brian at Banner Bank. But his team will make you open an account before you apply for a loan. But if you want one, there they are. You don't even have to go very far. It's right there. All right. So now we're going to jump into SBA. So we have Carrie and Janelle. I think Carrie will go over this, but this is the SBA support. There's some contact info and then some amazing things that they're offering for existing and new loans. So I'll let Carrie take it away.
Carrie, you're muted.
Thank you, Alan. Sorry about that. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here with you all, and just want to give you a quick update on where the Paycheck Protection Program loan is in terms of how many have been made by our lending partners who've done a fantastic job getting this out, As of July 6th, there have been 4,880,943 loans made to small businesses for $521,150,924,128. So that's a lot of loans out there for small businesses. There's still over $100 billion available for this program, which is why the deadline has been extended to August 8th. Currently, the average loan size is $106,772. So you can see, although there have been some larger loans made, it is on the average getting to our smaller businesses. For California, because of the size of our economy, we have received the most of these funds. I don't have that detailed number here for the PPP, but we do have that for EIDL. California has received 370,254 of the loans for $24,828,709,998. All of these loan data information is on the SBA.gov website. You can go there and take a look at it. In addition, early this week on Monday, the Treasury and SBA did release loan level data on all of the Paycheck Protection Program loans that were over $150,000. On those Paycheck Protection loans that are under $150,000, the agency and the Treasury did release the industry NAICS code, NAICS, with the dollar amount of the loan. So they were able to give you that information down to the city level on the smaller loans, as well as the business name and city and address information on those larger loans. So these are getting out to small businesses. I strongly encourage you to take a look. In addition to Scott's recommendation for Bluevine, on the SBA.gov website, we have a link where you can find lenders that are participating in the Paycheck Protection Program. So you can go to SBA.gov and there's a link there. And I know today is not about EIDL, but that program is also still available at SBA.gov for small businesses. And I'd like to turn it over to Janelle to give you some more information about some of the things our Sacramento District Office is doing for you.
Thank you, Carrie. So just briefly, I wanted to call out that our district is delivering joint webinars with partners throughout our 22 county district, including the small business development centers throughout the region, women's business centers, chambers, and also Sacramento State. We are delivering a webinar this afternoon at 1 p.m. with Sacramento State, and that's the fourth in a 7-part series featuring different topics to help businesses navigate COVID-19. And it's interdisciplinary from Sac State, so there's professors from varying schools that are offering information. Today's topic is on managing human and social capital in the pandemic and beyond. So just encourage, if you're interested in that, to visit our website. Our website is sba.gov/ca/Sacramento. If you just scroll down our homepage, you'll find our calendar and you can find that time, date, and register. And you can also visit the calendar to see the other joint webinars that we're doing. So just encourage you to take a look and join us for those events. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much, Carrie, and thank you very much, Janelle, for your updates. Much appreciated. And we, as a region, outside of what SBA has locally, from what Janelle mentioned, we have some other webinars that we're doing throughout our region. We have some that are in Spanish-speaking languages or language, and then we also have looks like quite a few around restaurants, the new dining experience, customer service, a couple around social media, Amazon platforms, e-commerce. If you are tired of doing your retail business and you're somehow going to get out of your lease and now you want to still sell online instead of deciding to fold up, you can sell online. We have great ways you can do that on either other e-commerce platforms or Amazon, even as high level as Amazon, which is a great platform for you to sell your products on. So yeah, this is a list. You guys have this downloaded. You can go on our website, check it out. But this is what we have coming up throughout the month of July.
And we have another series coming, we're putting together for August as well, around reopening issues and also a bunch of legal issues as well.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Alan. So we're here for you. We're here for you at no cost. We're all on the same team. It's not whose client is whose client. You're all of our clients, or it's our clients, all the same. You're all the same with us. If you have a local representative at your local office, SBDC, we have 18 in Northern California. You can go to them and talk to them and work with them. If they're not sure how to help you, or they just don't know how to answer your question, you can talk to us and we can work in conjunction with you and your advisor. You can reach out to them. If they're not sure, you can reach out to us. If we're not sure, we're going to call SBA, the Treasury, whoever the heck we got to call to find out the information for you, so we can get that back to you same day. The great thing about you asking us a question that we don't know is that we learn, and we love to learn every day. We learn something new. It's kind of overwhelming and exciting and frustrating all at the same time, but that's what we get paid to do. We get paid to help you at no cost. So we're here for you. Please call us. This is our phone number. It's better if you call us than if you email us, but you can email if you like email, if you don't have a phone or whatever. But please call us. We have people that are answering phones today, same day. You can go to ASKSBDC.com. Our marketing director, Aaron Phelps, and his team put together a great website. It has the past webinars. It has this webinar. It's all streaming same time as we are talking. There's a bunch of other cool resources and information on there. Great success stories from either you or other clients that we have. So please check it out, learn more about SBDC. You can email us at loans@asksbdc.com. It is checked daily, but the phone number is the best way to reach us. If you speak Spanish, or you want to learn Spanish or whatever, you want to talk about your business in Spanish, you can reach out to the Hispanic team out of Sacramento. You can email them at espanol@asksbdc.com. Julian Canetti is the CEO of the Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerces throughout the state of California. He has a director. His name is Oscar Garcia. His program manager is Edith Gomez. Their team of Spanish-speaking consultants does an excellent job about doing these webinars that we're doing for you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They do this in Spanish every Thursday. You can go to AskSBDC.com and find out that link. And yeah, they do an excellent job. And if you have a Spanish-speaking question, also every Thursday, 4 to 5:30, we do office hours with a team of attorneys. You can also go to AskSBDC.com. It's called Case Force or Base Force or something Force. It's pro bono. It doesn't cost anything. You can go on there, ask a bunch of cool questions that we don't answer on here, or whatever. You can ask attorneys, real estate attorneys, merger and acquisition attorneys, Main Street loan program attorneys, and then we're on there as well, helping answer your questions. All right, we're going to jump into Q&A. And yeah, I think Sunita, you wanted to ask some specific questions that are in here that.
I did, because this is coming up a lot, and I think we flipped through one of the updates during the presentation, so we apologize for that, our 60/40. But this is a great question by Pixel 2. We received PPP on May 1st. We elected to use the 24-week forgiveness period. If our funds run out in 10 weeks, will all our funds be fully forgiven? If spent appropriately, 60/40. And do we just wait until 24 weeks is up to apply for the forgiveness? So Carrie, would love it for Janelle, for you guys to jump in on that one. If so, if not, we can.
Thank you, Sunita. I'll take that one for you.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure if they got the agreement from their lender to go for the 24 weeks, but as long as they use the funds appropriately during the 10-week period and meet the employment dollar amount threshold and don't go over those, then that would be fully forgiven. I think it's allowing you that extra time, not requiring you to spread it over that time. That's the way I would look at that.
Okay, great. Because I think we have answered that in the past too, the same way. So yes, and then you would apply for forgiveness at the 24 week. So I know that Justin, you had a similar question. Yours was 12 weeks instead of the 10 weeks, but it's going to be the same thing. Okay, let's see here.
Carrie, is a non-citizen sole business owner eligible for an EIDL and PPP loan?
Thank you, Scott. It depends. Love that answer, but it depends on what their status is in terms of their company, where it's located and based, and also if they are, I guess the short answer would be probably not. What I would suggest that they do is look closely at that application, because there can be nuances to how your status is recorded that would affect your eligibility to that. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. All right, so Carrie, I'm going to throw this back at you, even though it's an SBDC question, but I want you to help me answer it, please. It says SBDC does not offer counsel to nonprofits. Any recommendations of where to go for similar support?
Sure, thank you, Scott. There is, depending on where you're located, in Sacramento area, there's the Nonprofit Resource Center. And if you Google that, you can find them, and they do have free resources for people that want to start a not-for-profit organization. They have different classes and things on how you structure that. So that would be one option for you as a not-for-profit organization. Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. Thank you, Gary.
I think, Scott, I remember also in the early days when we got a lot of questions around this, we were talking about California nonprofits, calnonprofits.org.
You can put it in the chat if you want.
Yeah, I'll throw that in the chat.
All right. Carol Heinrich, I don't know how to answer your question unless Sunita does or SBA does. Says, please explain withheld taxes and forgiveness. I mean, I don't really know what you mean by that, because the forgiveness is not withholding taxes. The forgiveness is, if you're forgiven the amount that you spend, you have to take that amount out. From what I originally saw with IRS, unless they changed it, you have to take that amount out that you were forgiven, the amount, say it's 10 grand, 100 grand, out of your expenses, because you can't double count them per se. Unless there's other, I don't really know what you mean by withheld taxes. There are no withheld taxes, but you can't, if you get forgiven a certain amount of money from PPP, meaning you spent it, you got the money from the bank, you spent it, they gave it back to you, or they forgave it, so you didn't have to pay it back. Then you would just take that expense amount that was forgiven, and you minus it from your expenses.
Oh, Scott's frozen up.
Okay, I thought it was me.
No. I'm used to Scott taking those occasionally dramatic pauses, but he seems to have frozen up.
Okay, so Caroline, if you need more information on that, if we're not answering your question correctly, we apologize, but we probably need more information from you to be able to answer it correctly. So go ahead and email us or call us at the number on the screen right now, and we'll get some help from you. Get some help for you. Okay, so Paul is stating, I applied for and received funding for a PPP in early April. That money is long gone. How can I get more funding? We get this answer a lot. I am in the live events industry, so there is little or no work at this point in time. The work we are doing keeps employees off of unemployment, but it is not profitable. I know that there was in legislature, there was a, you could possibly apply for a second loan through PPP, but that has not shaken out yet. So we do not know the specifics on there. on that particular point. Correct, Carrie?
Yes, thank you, Sunita. That is correct. There is no second Paycheck Protection Program loan available to small businesses at this time. Scott's disclaimer: when the congressionals get back in session, they might be taking a look at that option. And certainly, if that's a concern of yours, I would encourage you to speak with your elected officials that represent you and let them know that that's something that you very much are interested in and would like. Thanks, Anita.
Thank you, Carrie. And I can say we have been on quite a few webinars with the elected officials, and they are listening to their contingencies. I'm sorry, they are listening to the public. So if you call their office, if you let what you need be heard, they are listening and they are tallying up this information, and that's what they're taking back with them. So Paul, definitely reach out to your local representative. Okay, so Larry is, I'm not sure if you want to read through that one, Scott, first before we ask that question. It's from Larry.
I don't see it unless.
Yeah, you,
okay.
you won't be able to see them unless.
Okay, so Scott, you had responded to a question, and so he's coming back saying, responding to you regarding grant organizations not having PPP, not being forgiven.
Yeah, so the question was, the original question was like, he has a client that receives most of his income from grants. He's saying, but he said he's a for-profit company. So he asked, he heard somewhere, and then he replaced this with his article, that he says that if you receive income from grants, that it's not PPP forgiven. And I think that would be wrong, because it doesn't matter where you receive your money from, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It just matters how you run your business and you spend your money, right? It doesn't matter where you get it from. I haven't heard that before.
Well, I would think so as well. I mean, if you were able to apply for the PPP, my assumption is you qualified for the PPP. And if you have employees that you are using the PPP money for, and you're sticking to the 60-40, as far as I know, that is forgivable. But like we say, at this point in time, that's what we feel is correct, unless Carrie has any other insight on that, and Janelle may possibly.
Thank you, Sunita. I don't have any more insight on that. That's more of a CPA type question, and I would encourage the individual to go and speak with either a CPA or whoever's working with his books. There's that link also we shared last time where they can use that calculator on the form. And I think it depends on, you know, I don't want to, it's a pretty detailed question. So my take on it is slightly different in that if you have grant money that you're receiving and then you receive the PPP loan and it's forgiven, I'm not sure, you know, I would suggest that he speak with an accountant, because I think that would be something they would be better able to answer.
Okay, and then to everybody, thank you, Carrie. In the chat, it is under future.aicpa.org resources. That is the forgiveness calculator that we are talking about. So if you click on that, it should take you straight to that document or that Excel sheet.
I'll put it back in there again.
Thank you.
So Arian Trilon. So if you choose 24 weeks, your max per owner is $20,833. You're right about that. Your max per employee, if you choose 24 weeks, it's not 24,154, which is what you put. It's 46,154. So it's 46,154. That's your max per employee in a 24-week period. If you do the 8-week period, it's still 15,385 per employee. All right, Alan, I need you to do a poll since we have so much time. We're just hanging out. Just twiddling our thumbs this Wednesday morning.
Sorry,
Okay.
you don't see the question, but I do. There's one more question here.
Oh,
I think it's because when you had to come back in, those questions got wiped out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex is asking, I don't understand how much a PPP loan costs. Is the 1% interest daily accruing? If so, is the daily accruing interest typical in business loans? The online loan calculator at calculator.net has interest options of daily accruing, monthly accruing, etc., etc. They call it compound. Can we just use a calculator and set it to daily accruing to find out how much PPP loan will cost? It's a great question, Alex.
Can you is this a loan calculator question?
Yeah, they want it right. So I don't know if I can
Can
copy
you
it.
can you copy and put, or can Alan copy and paste it somewhere so I can see it, or no?
I
Just
can
put
get
it
there.
in the chat so I can see it. That'd be cool.
Let me get there. Yeah, takes a moment.
It doesn't happen automatically.
It takes a little bit more time than you'd expect. I'd want it to because of
I'm just
interesting.
So Alex, I mean, I'm sure all companies at this point in time, they are hoping for full forgiveness. So interest does accrue from the start, and it would be like any typical business loan. So, or even a mortgage loan. So that's how the interest is accrued. So if you go in there and then you put a 30-year term at 1%, that is going to be your interest payments and your other payments. So it'll tell you how much you're going to owe. Sorry, not 30 years, but it's going to be either the 2 or 5 years. So that's how you would calculate it. We do have another calculator that we use, and it is an app. We can give you that information in the chat once I find it. I'll provide that information for you in the chat. Alan, do you already have this copied?
Do I have the calculated net? Yeah.
The question copied?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
Thank you. So Justin is asking, sorry, did you
I see that question that you're just gonna ask, but I see the question in the chat from Alex. So most loans, whether it be a business loan or a mortgage loan, they don't accrue daily. Credit cards kind of accrue daily. Lines of credit kind of accrue daily. There's a per diem per day, which is if you took, actually I don't want to confuse you, so scratch that, but a 1% loan and a 3.75% loan for EIDL, 1% loan for PPP is, it accrues annually, but the payments are made monthly. So if you were to take a $10,000 loan and take 1% of $10,000, it's $100, and take $100 and divide it by 12, it'd be $8.5. So essentially, you would accrue $8.5 per interest per month if you had a $10,000 loan. So it doesn't accrue daily; it accrues annually. But it's not even a accruage, if that's even a word. It doesn't accrue; it's just an interest rate. Alex, you should call me. We can chat about it. We can chat about interest rates all day long. I tell you what I think, but it doesn't. In the way that you're talking about it, it doesn't accrue. I don't really care what calculator you show us. It doesn't mean it's right per se. Justin says, it sounds like from your previous response that if we choose the 24-week period, we can't apply for forgiveness before the end of the 24 weeks. Is that correct? Well, we don't know, Justin, unless the Treasury has submitted a new IFR, or Sunita knows more than I do, but we don't know if you can ask for forgiveness after 11 weeks or 12 weeks or 18.5 or 22.3. We don't know yet. But guess what, Justin? You don't need to worry about it because the lenders aren't ready to take your paperwork. You can go give it to them if you want to, but they're going to tell you like, hey, you should go kick rocks, or hey, you should stay outside and hold on to your paperwork until we're ready, because they're not ready, Justin. So I would recommend that you get all your paperwork together, you hold on to it just like you would a CPA, put it in a shoebox and put it aside, and then just wait, because we don't know yet, Justin. But great question. So this question has come up quite a bit. Can you use an EIDL to pay your 7A? So you can use your EIDL.
Yeah, Scott has asked this quite a few times, and I was just answering it as well here. But yeah, that'd be great if we can tell him again.
All right, so Carrie explained this really well on Monday. I was going to say Sunday, but it was actually Monday. That you can't use the EIDL to pay off any existing loan. You can't just, like, if you got a $20,000 EIDL and you owe $10,000 to a 7A, you can't just pay it off. But your monthly payments that you normally make every month before COVID, before EIDL, you can take your EIDL amount and pay that monthly payment as you would normally for a normal business practice as you operate your business. You can pay the monthly payment. You can't pay it off directly. If you do use it to pay it off directly, it could be considered fraud for using the money the wrong way, since this is a federal loan. And then you have all your other problems, which we don't know what that means yet. But SBA could come in and audit your financials or your spending patterns.
And Scott, I'd like to just interject that if they have an existing SBA loan that was a 7A 504 or microloan that was made from between March 27th and now, those loans are going to be paid for 6 months of their payments. So if you do have an existing loan, SBA is going to pay that principal and interest and any fees. If you want to obtain a 7A loan because your business is growing due to COVID-19, then you can go to your lender and they can qualify you for a 7A loan. As long as that loan closes before September 27th, those payments would be forgiven as well for 6 months. So in addition to what Scott explained regarding how you can use the EIDL funds, if it is an SBA guaranteed loan, those payments are being made for you by SBA right now. So you would not have to make those. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Somebody has a sole proprietorship named, doesn't matter what it's named. I create virtual reality and augmented reality software. I've had the business for 1 year. I left a job I had for 5 years as I am building out my sole prop. I'd like to know what loan I should apply for. So Dena, Clover, Vargas, it's a very specific question. I don't know enough to tell you this, and nobody really does. So please call us. I'll put the phone number in there, and we can help you get a loan. We help you get any loan you want, but we just need to know a lot more information.
Scott, there's a question about, can they pay their EIDL loan off in 15 years rather than 30 years? And is there a penalty? No, there's no penalty. You can take your EIDL loan out and you can pay it all off in 15 years, or you can pay it off in 1 year. It's up to you. There's not a penalty for paying off that EIDL loan early for your small business. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Alan's going to do a poll. There's no more questions at this time. Alan's going to do a poll. So his poll is it's specific to Friday. So this Friday, 2 days from now, we're going to talk about all these kind of loans, these 3 loans. A 7A is anything that's not a building or a large piece of equipment. It could be that, but 7A is like working capital, buying people, buying marketing, buying equipment, buying inventory, buying supplies. That's 7A, working capital. It's usually a 10-year loan. 504 is buying equipment, buying land, buying large equipment, buying land, buying construction, constructing a building, buying a building and constructing inside. That's 504. That's usually a 25-year loan. A blended rate, a 25-year loan to buy a building is 3.5 roughly right now. Unheard of. Better than some mortgages. Direct city and county are loans that we're finding out that are being offered in San Francisco City or Sac City or Santa Clara County or Nevada County or Placer County or wherever counties. Which do you want to know more? You're on the phone right now. There is 105 of you. We want to know what you want to know more of. We're going to go over all of them, but we could go over more in details if you want to know more about specific counties and cities. Sac City's launching something right now. They haven't launched it yet, from what I know. They're talking about it. Actually, I think they launched the application, but they haven't actually done any funding yet. And it's a $25,000.
That's true, Scott.
Okay.
They did.
Thanks, Carrie. It's $25,000 forgivable, up to $25,000 forgivable. And then outside of that, we don't really know a lot of other parameters. We will soon, but we don't know now. There's 3 organizations that bid on running and organizing the filtering of all the applications that come through on that, and they haven't chosen one yet, from what my understanding. And once the city does, then they'll be able to process all these loans, because there's no way the city can do it all by themselves. Because there's going to be like, I don't know, 400, 500, 600 applications.
There's a question in there, Scott, about what expenses are legal for an EIDL loan, and those are any of your ongoing business expenses to keep your business running. So everything, the question listed there in terms of utilities, mortgage, supplies, any existing payment on a piece of equipment, those are all eligible.
Thank you.
So we're about 42% of people voted.
What? Tell them to vote. We need to know your votes.
You know, you don't have to wait until November to vote. You can vote right now.
All right. Well, we can wait another minute if you want to see who votes.
The number's creeping its way up, which is good to see.
That's good.
Although I've got to say the percentages seem fairly stable. So we're seeing about half the people choose that they're interested mostly in 7A loans. Just over a third want to know about the direct city and county, and then the other third, or the other sixth rather, what's left are interested in the 504 loans.
All right, man. You could post it, please.
Okay, so let me grab that. I'll show that to everybody so you can all see those results. See how you did. So see how everybody else did. Okay. All righty. Well, I think we've got no more questions. We've got no more poll. It's 11:30.
Wait. Did you post it?
I did.
Wait, you posted it again? I didn't see it. My bad. Okay, thanks. So, interesting. Less people want to buy a building. Dang it. I want to do a bunch of building loans. They're so fun.
I know that's what you like doing, Scott. You just love, yeah, you're a bricks and mortar kind of guy, aren't you? But
I am actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand e-commerce. So 7A, a lot of 7As and a lot of direct counties. Okay, well, that's good. We don't have to talk about 504s. I'm actually gonna probably do some calculation on 504s. I'll probably have a 504 slide saying that if you're paying 10 grand in rent, you want to buy a building that's $1 million, your payment's gonna be like stupid low. If I were to do a calculation really quick, just for fun, apples and giggles. Let's see, $1 million at 3.5 for 25 years. Booyah! Look at that. It's $5 grand a month. That's insane. So, yeah, everybody should be buying buildings. That way you don't have to deal with the landlords anymore. You can be the landlord of yourself. All right. I know it's not for everyone. I get it. I'll stop making jokes about it. Thanks for that, Alan.
Okay, stop sharing the results.
We have 3 questions. Bill Busk wanted to ask a bunch of questions, but Bill, yeah, go ahead, man. Ask a question. Don't be shy. We're here for you.
I think he's asking if we can unmute him so we can actually talk to you.
Yeah, I think this is the gentleman that wanted to talk to SBA directly, and I think that might be something that you guys should take over.
Oh, yeah. He wants to know the difference between a state guarantee and a SBA guarantee. SBA. Yeah. So we're going to talk. The difference doesn't really matter to the end user, Bill, which is you. The difference really matters to the lender. And some lenders like SBA and some lenders like state guarantee. Some like both. Now that there's 7A and there's like 1,000 to 1,500 more lenders across the country that signed up for SBA 7A because of PPP, there might be a lot more that want to do SBA. The only difference to the borrower, which is you, Bill, or if you're not the borrower, your client's your borrower, is really nothing, to be honest with you. So it's usually, you wouldn't really know as a borrower, as a business owner, when you go to a bank, you wouldn't really say, hey, I want a state guarantee. Hey, I want an SBA guarantee. You wouldn't really know. You just apply and they give you what you get or what they do. And then you just either say yay or nay. The guarantee fee is about the same. It's about 2 to 3. I think SBA, the only difference today, actually, now that I think about it, is SBA is paying the principal and interest for the first 6 months, and the state guarantee is not doing that. Some of them are doing deferred dates, but they're not necessarily paying the payment for the first 6 months. The fees are the same. They're about 2 to 3%. The only thing about an SBA would be that. For the lender, if you really want to know, Bill, state guarantee is 7 years. SBA is 10 to 25, depending on what you're buying. The guarantee percentage fluctuates between 50% if it's an express loan all the way up to 90%. Yeah, Bill, but if you want a whole tutorial on it, I'd love to chit chat with you, talk to you about it, but I'm not going to do it on the call. I'll probably confuse a bunch of people. Joyce Mitchell loves our sense of humor. That's exciting. Thanks, Joyce. Appreciate it. We try to make it a little fun because Bill wants, yeah, Bill, we could do that for Friday, man. We could put it on the Friday call. There is brand new state guarantee stuff in our marketplace now. The governor changed their mind on the extra $50 million that was put into the pot for the state guarantee loans. And now you do not need to be declined for EIDL and PPP to get approved for a state loan guarantee up to $1 million at 4.25% at the lowest for 25 or 30 years. If you want to know about those, please call us. Blow up our phones. But we're going to talk more about that on Friday because we just found out about it yesterday and we don't want to blow the lenders up.
Paul is asking a question. I understand that a business cannot receive forgiveness for both a PPP and an EIDL 10K grant simultaneously. Is it possible to get forgiveness on the PPP or let the term expire and then take out an EIDL loan and use the forgiven grant? So Paul, you can get the PPP forgiven, but if you did receive a $10,000 EIDL grant or EIDL advance, then you would have a loan for $10,000 at 1% for 2 or 5 years, depending on if you can negotiate the extended term, unless you receive the money after 6/5. You can get an EIDL loan now. Your EIDL loan is not forgivable. It is a 30-year term loan at 3.75%. So your EIDL loan is not a grant. Your EIDL advance is forgivable. It is very confusing. I understand, Paul. We can help you, walk you through it. Give us a call and we will match you up with an advisor to walk you through and answer all your questions.
All right. So
that's
11:32.
That's it for today.
Yep, that's all. Oh, there's another one. How can I chat with one of you leaders for like 15-30 minutes at a specific situation? Is that possible to pre-schedule? I'm totally flexible. Thanks so much. Time, openness. Yeah, Dan Chironi. What's up, man? I talked to you before. You're that guy that's going to change the world, but I won't tell anybody why because they might take your idea. But yeah, Dan, here you go. If you like to text, here's my cell phone. Just text away. There you go, Dan. All right. Everybody have a great Wednesday. We're here for you. We like to chat. We like to talk. We like to make jokes and humor and make up stuff sometimes. But guess what? We are the best people to talk about loans with. And if we can't figure it out, we'll call Carrie and Janelle and the team over there. And we will figure out the answer for you as fast as we can. So thank you very much for Carrie for joining today and all your expertise. And thanks for Janelle for joining. Thank you, Alan, for making it all work very nicely. Thank you for Sunita for covering all the stuff I don't know. And we'll see you guys Friday. See everybody Friday. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye all.